What detoxifications methods work to get chemicals out of our body? Should we take far red, infrared saunas?
Great question. So the infrared sauna issue, I think, is a separate one because I actually don't push infrared. I push regular saunas because regular saunas are more anthropologic. And because we were designed as human creatures to sweat, whether we're doing it through exercise or like my patients, many of whom cannot physically exercise because of arthritis and autoimmune issues. And I recommend sauna, a regular thermal sauna, if they have access and if it's not a pandemic. But the idea is that infrared, generally considered safe, and certainly we put a whole section in the book about that, but really more about the fact that there's some risk potentially of skin cancers because of the level of radiation going through the layers of the skin to deeper levels. Again, I'm not saying that happens. There's not enough studies to really conclude that, but it's just something that makes me think, well, is this anthropologic? Did we really have infrared saunas 2.5 million years ago? Or did we just run around chasing chickens and looking for berries and nuts and sweat? So I look at the sweat studies that are really quite interesting. But again, certain foods, I mean, it's not just detoxing by removal, which is the number one easiest way to get chemicals out of your life, is just removing stuff, air quality, air fresheners and this and that, whatever. Second thing is eating foods that are clean, so you're not constantly re-upping all those chemicals in your body. Getting clean filtered water, so you're not adding those chemicals again to your body. Removing chlorine from your drinking water, so it doesn't remove the good bacteria or kill off the good bacteria in our gut. People don't realize that medications and certain foods and certain chemicals actually wipe out the good bacteria in the gut microbiome, which we need for our immune system to be healthy. So there's this big kind of cycle of where do you start first? Start easily, start with basic stuff. But I would say detoxing is also choosing the right foods, not just any clean foods, but even like cruciferous vegetables. I gave a whole list of all of the pre and probiotics, that are easy to buy in supermarkets and access, but also cruciferous vegetables list, because I don't even cook most of the time. And I only know of like broccoli and, Brussels sprouts. Believe it or not, there's like 30 other cruciferous vegetables that if you dare to try, they're delicious. And they have these great detoxing capabilities through chemicals like indole-3-carbinol and sulforaphane, glucosinolates and all those fancy words. So I do encourage people to hit the cruciferous vegetables that are pesticide free pretty hard. And we give a lot of great selections for those.
When you say in your book, medications are chemicals too, what did you mean?
I'm going to take a swig first. So, and by the way, I'm not going to give a brand. Stainless steel, no plastic lid, I should say lip, so you don't drink out of a hot plastic flip top straw. This keeps my tea hot for 8 hours. So, lots of good stuff out there. I don't recommend particular brands, but they're easy to find. You want American made if you can find it. So what was the question?
What detoxifications? Oh, I'm sorry. When you say in your book, medications are chemicals, what did you mean?
Yeah, sorry, medication. So we kind of went through that a little bit, but I wanted people to have something that most consumers in medicine don't always think about, because you're in a system that you didn't train for. You're trusting physicians that you assume are well-trained and have your best interests in mind. And so I want people to think about, how do you challenge your healthcare doctor or whoever your healthcare provider is in a way that's not combative, it's not causing trouble, but truly wants to know, you want to know, why are you on something? What does it do? How does it work? What is the endpoint goal? Can it be lowered? What are the criteria for getting off that medicine if it's a possibility? I'm not saying all meds can and should be off, but I think it's a way of saying, I'm putting this thing in my body. I should know what's in it. And I should know if there's any risk, and I should know maybe if there's an alternative to it. It's really just asking questions. So I really wanted to put in that chapter a list of great questions for any practitioner that I don't think are aggressive or offensive, and they're really just logical. I wanted people to understand that medicines, again, are not just, they are chemicals. They are coated in phthalates often. They're made with colors and chemicals. They're, time released. is, time release, because there is certain chemicals coating it that have little holes in it. And, so it's not to create paranoia, but it's to know that the way chemicals, even aspirin, even things that we consider pretty benign, the way they're designed and way they're manufactured actually adds chemicals. So if you don't have to be on them and there's other ways to do it and you're willing to do a little work about it, I think that's worth exploring. If you're not, that's okay too.
We've talked a bit about this. Can you tell us the exact main chemicals we should be concerned about?
Too many to count. There's 90,000, and the most well-studied, I'll give you a list of some really well-studied ones: parabens, sulfites. Many are on shampoo bottles that are, or whatever, cosmetics trying to tell you they don't have them in there. That's not regulated, by the way. So you can actually market that and not even do a thing about your ingredients. I mean, there's no law regulating testing of cosmetics. You're really trusting the brand. But really, there are groups of chemicals that we've been taught that are really bad for us. Certainly heavy metals. Some of them we need copper. We need certain components, iron in our body, right? But there are metals that are not so good for us, or at least in too much quantity. So let's be real on that. But, really, I want people to, and we do break it down. I will say this: we do have the cosmetics chapter does talk about groups of things to look for and teaches you how on a cosmetic label, even shampoo, conditioner, body spray, what to be thinking of, what to be looking for. But there really are so many that I don't want to overwhelm people, because, and even on a day-to-day basis, your exposures change. If you have a good day versus a bad day, if those chemicals have a half-life that's shorter than others, they may linger, they may not. So really, it's really hard to say anyone is a bad guy, but we have the most data on phthalates, most data as a class, bisphenols, heavy metals like mercury, methylmercury, and lead. Flame retardant chemicals, very important. We have lots of data on flame retardant chemicals from 1970s, because they have changed up, but they all have been implicated in lots of health issues, including endocrine disruption. So, the ones that have been most well tested, I promote in terms of educating the most, because they're examples of others.